Hey guys, welcome back to Anthony's Tennis Hub. My name's Anthony Hirsch, and today I want to talk about a big upset that just took place in Buenos Aires. It was Jarry taking out Alcaraz. The score was 7-6, 6-3. Was it a bad performance from Alcaraz? Was it a good performance from Jarry? Usually it's somewhere in the middle, or a bit of both, you should say. And, it was a bit of both. And Alcaraz, though, he did play a bit of a disappointing performance, but about Jarry, he did everything great. Drop shots, coming to net, great. Forehand and backhand, serve, all was looking good. I mean, he's a complete player. Sometimes he lacks a big weapon, but the forehand was fantastic throughout this match. He ended with a positive winner-to-error ratio. He hit 69% of his first serves in. He won 74% of first serve points. Jarry played great. Alcaraz, I felt like throughout the match, really lost his court positioning. Right from the start of the match, he was almost like Medvedev, way behind the baseline. And I know it's clay courts. I know sometimes Alcaraz likes to kind of take time to set up points, but he was standing way further back for return of serve than usual. And this was making it so that his defense to offense was really not effective or working very well. A lot of his balls were falling either into the net or falling very short. His serve wasn't there for parts of the match. It was really, his serve was actually fine for parts of it, at least his first serve, but he was failing on serve in the important moments, and that brings me to the first set tiebreaker, where he double faulted on the first point of the tiebreaker. Then he played a good point down 0-1, where his forehand, he just started attacking the Jarry backhand, moving into the court. One of the few points like that Alcaraz played throughout the match, usually it was Jarry dictating. I'll tell you what, Alcaraz wants to be dictating. Point blank period, Alcaraz wants to be the one dictating, even on clay courts. And clay is both of these guys' best surface. But this time I felt like Alcaraz's court positioning on return and also inside of the rallies was not working well at all. From down 1-2 in the tiebreaker, Alcaraz played a couple of poor points. Jarry hit a great backhand cross-court. He hit a few great backhand cross-court angles throughout the match. And Alcaraz missed a backhand slice into the ground. And then on the next point, Alcaraz hit a second serve. As he was hitting throughout the match, he hit a lot of second serves. And, he started getting pushed back, aggressive from Jarry. But Jarry is he's not ultra aggressive or anything, but just aggressive enough. And, he's not playing too crazy, is Jarry. But Alcaraz mishits a forehand into the net, a pretty early rally forehand into the net. And from there, 6-1 Jarry, and the tiebreaker was over, 7-2 for Jarry, which is not a usual scoreline you're seeing in Alcaraz set. And then they traded breaks early in the second set. And then, it sucks because Carlos was actually serving well for parts of the match. I mean, he at one point towards the end of the first set had won 90% of his first serve points, but just a few dips at the important points, and I'll get to that in the second set. Some important kind of moments. Alcaraz got the break. He went up love 40 in the first game of the second set. He got the first break of the match in the second set to start off the second set, but Jarry broke right back. He was up 1-0, 15 love, and then he had a neutral backhand error and a drop shot wide. And whenever Alcaraz hits a drop shot over the net but misses it wide, something is a little bit off with Alcaraz. And then at deuce, it's another neutral backhand error at 1-0, and then one shanked off of a big return from Jarry. Then it's 1-1, they're on serve. Alcaraz serving from down 3-4. Jarry's so aggressive, good depth off the backhand, Jarry just taking charge in a lot of these points, and then it's love 15. Alcaraz serves and volleys, and he hits a pretty attackable kick serve, which Jarry just hits a backhand winner. And like I said, especially in this match, Jarry was hitting the backhand great. I feel like backhand is the more unreliable shot that Jarry has, if you're asking forehand or backhand, but he had an out wide serve to the backhand, and a lot of these serves, I mean, he was mishitting them, they were falling short of the second serve. The first serve was decent, but the second serve, I don't know why he decided to serve and volley off this kick serve. Jarry just smashed it for a winner. Alcaraz played 2 good points after that. After that kind of point, he had a great drop shot, then off a defensive kind of rally where he was defending all over the court was Carlos Alcaraz. He had a swinging forehand volley winner, which was one of his best shots in the match. And then he actually played a very good defense to offense point, really defending and then hitting through the court. It looked like Alcaraz was kind of cooking a bit of a comeback here. And then he hits a huge forehand right into Jarry, but Jarry right off of it hits this impeccable drop shot off of the return of it. And it just shows Jarry's talent and the skill set he possesses, his great hands, which did him well on grass courts last year. As Jarry keeps getting more and more experience, it's going to be very good for Jarry, but Jarry with an impeccable drop shot of his own. And, and then Alcaraz at 30-40 just completely throws away the game. And it's just like that. Jarry's serving for the match because, Jarry played that great drop shot. Now it's 30-40 after a few good points. Alcaraz played 30-40, break point. Alcaraz stands way nearer to the doubles alley, as I've seen him do many times, but he didn't do this once in the game or recently in the match. He's way near the doubles alley, being very kind of creative with the serve. And he, usually when you're doing this, you hit it out wide. You get the angle, you have the whole angle of the court to hit through, but he decides to fake Jarry out and hit it down the tee. But his serve hasn't really been working. This is a very, very low percentage play, and you're really playing with fire here because Jarry's forehand has been fantastic throughout the match. And I keep saying Jarry is a complete player, but for him to really keep rising up and get to the next level, he needs a big, big weapon. And, he's a big guy. He's got a big serve. But I think the forehand is really maybe the weapon for Jarry if I would pinpoint anything. He's got great volleys as well. But, he hits the serve, Alcaraz right to that forehand, and he's just asking for this kind of forehand winner that Jarry hits, and it's too much for the Alcaraz forehand. He hits a forehand into the net. Just so many errors from Alcaraz on pressure points as well. He went 2 for 4 on saving break points. Alcaraz's stats did not look very good. He hit 0 aces, Alcaraz, to Jarry's 7 aces over 2 sets. He went 11 for 21 on second serve points, not making a whole lot of first serves in. It was okay, but it wasn't great. It was in the 60%. It was okay, but just not good enough on second serve points. 11 for 21. 52%, and you compare it to their match that they played in Rio last year in the semifinals of Rio. Carlos hit 5 aces to Jarry's 4 aces, and he won 64% of his second serve points, making more first serves in play as well. So it's just the serve needs a lot of improvement from Alcaraz. He wasn't really being offensive and dictating like he should be, and that just caused a lot of problems for Alcaraz, really. And, Jarry in the last game, Jarry was down break point. He had some good clutch serving with kind of serves and aces down the tee. Just as Jarry did in the first set, he was down 4-5 in deuce, and he had a few good down the tee serves. He did the same thing here, got to match point. He double faulted, definitely felt the nerves. It was then a big point, break point number 2 for Carlos in this game. Carlos actually has a great play with Jarry coming to the net. He has a great backhand, could even go for a passing shot. Decides to go for a lob, and it's decent, but Jarry with great athleticism hits a great smash, and then at deuce, he hits 2 great backhand cross-court angles. And then he hits a forehand inside in, and Carlos goes way too low percentage and hits a backhand cross court off of a great forehand from Jarry to pass him. Way too low percentage, and he's just standing way too far back into the court. It's not like he's stepping in and cutting off the angle. His court positioning is way too back in the court, and then the next point, Jarry once again hits a great forehand inside out. He's getting a lot of forehands, getting to hit a lot of forehands, and very aggressive with the forehand, very confident with the forehand. And it's Jarry who looks like the confident player, who's number 2 in the world. And Alcaraz goes down the line, he goes wide. And it's the court positioning where I felt like Alcaraz was just standing too far behind the baseline. And I like Alcaraz's creativity. He's got a lot of tools, but I felt like mentally, strategically, it was a poor performance from Carlos. He needs to figure out how to use those tools. And even on the serve, I like how creative some people and players have been on serve and return recently, like Medvedev standing way far behind the baseline, or like Alcaraz standing way near the doubles alley to serve. I think those are like 2 shots that you have in every single rally, and it's good for people to find new ways to switch up on serve and, hit body serves, do this, serve and volley. And I think it's good for people to mix those up on serve and return. And be creative on those shots. I felt like Alcaraz was trying to do that, but he needs to find a way to have a more reliable serve that isn't a weakness that is attackable, but more is a weapon. Like Sinner has a huge weapon with the serve, and it's going to be harder for Carlos to have the serve be a weapon like Sinner, because Sinner has the height for the serve as well. Alcaraz is shorter than Sinner, but we'll see how Alcaraz can keep improving on that serve. Jarry now has gotten his 5th top 5 win over the has his 5th top 5 win over the last over his career. Not that many people have top 5 wins. 4 of those have come in the last 12 months. He actually ties Medvedev and Zverev, does Jarry for the most top 5 wins over the last 12 months. That's only behind Sinner, Alcaraz, and Djokovic. So take that stat as you will. It shows a great potential for Jarry against the top guys. It shows that he plays them well, a bit underrated in that he's very complete, very surface versatile. Like I said, it's about having that big weapon. Can he move into the top 10? I guess time will tell, but he's still improving. He's number 20 in the world, number 19 in the live rankings. If he's able to win the final against Diaz Acosta in the final, then he'll be number 17 in the world, just 5 points behind Ben Shelton, 5 ATP points behind Ben Shelton for number 16 in the world, right behind Tiafoe as well, who has a lot of points to defend, isn't in great form. So Jarry is climbing up well. He's got a good chance in the final here to get his 4th title. Like I said, it would be his 4th title. All of them coming on clay courts. That is by far his best surface. 60% win rate. He's 40% something on the other surfaces. But yeah, it's a great win for Jarry. It was really his win against Wawrinka in the first round where he saved match point that really did well for his confidence. Alcaraz is really lacking on the confidence aspect. He's yet to reach a final since Cincinnati, yet to win a title since Wimbledon, the Alcaraz-Djokovic Classic. So we'll see how Alcaraz can do. He'll really need a good performance in Rio. But Jarry, fantastic, very complete, and we'll see how he can keep improving because he's looking dangerous, and hopefully Alcaraz can find something. But that was kind of what the match was, and that serve from Alcaraz needs a big improvement. Jarry doesn't need any improvement on the serve. It's looking great. Anyway, guys, don't forget to like if you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe as well to Anthony's Tennis Hub. If you have not already, please don't. And please don't forget to ring the notification bell as well if you haven't already for more videos. Always appreciate you guys joining in. I'll see you guys at the next one. I got more videos. I got more stuff coming. So stick around. Stick around on the YouTube channel. I'll see you guys at the next one.